I hope this works. It's kind of an experiment.
That's pretty cool from what I saw. I think that's going to be...
It's showing you two closer in the front of the thing, but you see us in the mirror.
I'm seeing two of you.
Oh.
Actually, I'm seeing like 18 balls. Well, one of them might be Juan. So
All right, we are actually recording.
Oh,
Okay.
We're live.
So welcome back to the next pod from the Gogh-Getters.
Coming to you live from Eaker's Barbershop.
In Edwardsville, Edwardsville, Illinois. Yeah, thank you, Kerry Eaker, for letting us use your
Kerry and
space.
Rich for letting us use your front space this time. We used the back.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
think, this is quite the upgrade.
If we,
Well, we got extra chairs.
Yeah.
right, we have mic stands.
Is our one follower listening, do you think?
He said he listened to it.
Did he?
It was
Do
pretty
we have any more followers?
I don't know if we got any more
I-
followers, but I will say that I went to the art show in Frontenac on Saturday and got some really good praises from
Really?
a couple of people that
Really?
I listened to. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so we received some positive comments on the interaction, the flow.
Cool.
So it was
Is
nice
that
to...
in the lobby of...
It's in Saks Fifth Avenue. It was downstairs, kind of like in the lower
Okay.
level. It was a great turnout. There was a lot of people there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is fantastic. Who else did you? I want to ask you about that show a little bit later
The
on.
artist I sent to you guys earlier this week or last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the thing I sent?
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah, it's nice.
I think she's in that show.
Yeah.
She said she had a piece at Pleasant Frontenac right now.
Yeah, there was a,
Yeah.
yeah, there was a.
How many artists? There were probably about a dozen more than that, maybe 20 artists in
I'd
that.
say about 20. Yeah, it was a packed house. There was a lot of people there. It was a really good turnout.
That's great. That's fantastic.
Well, and then Kevin is schizophrenic, so that counts as two.
2 followers. So we got 3. We're up to 3 followers. Well, I shouldn't say their followers are.
Getting more
They're,
mention in these things than anybody else.
well, Kevin.
I gave Karen $20 to be a follower.
I had a friend, a couple friends, one from Jacksonville, messaged me one night and said, "Hey, I listened to your podcast. It was really cool."
Cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's very
I
cool.
listened to it in Florida, and I just absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
They get podcasts down in Florida.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yes.
That is crazy. I wouldn't have thought that.
My grandpa,
Along with other things that you could get when you're in Florida.
Fried fish.
Yeah.
my grandpa, when he was alive the first couple of years I was down here, and he'd call me, he'd scream in the telephone. And he goes, "You got a stove down there?" I go, "I do. I do have a stove down here."
Wow, they got stoves
They
in
were going
Madison
to
County.
send, I think they were going to send deer meat.
Really?
It's actually really good. You just have to cook it for about 18 hours.
Right,
Yeah, right.
The guys at Mark Muffler, you know where that is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They go deer hunting every year, and every fall I manage to go in for some kind of car service because I will get venison jerky from them after deer hunting season. Anyway,
That's
nothing
nice.
to do with art.
It has nothing to do with art, but it's really good small town fodder.
Little small town.
Rock on. Well, let's go around and just talk a little bit about any art shows or things that that you guys went to recently. And I'd like to go back to the Plaza Frontenac Saks Fifth Avenue art show.
Sure.
Who did you see there that you really liked?
I knew you were going to ask me this question.
Was Melissa in that too?
No, she was
She
not,
wasn't, okay.
but she's at the Schmidt
Yeah.
Art Center
Which
over
looks
in
fantastic.
Oh,
Belleville.
that was a great show.
Oh my
Show.
God, it's mind blowing.
Yeah, I went to that.
Yeah.
Saw Steve there. That was a really good.
Would have gone to that if it
Yeah,
was here.
yeah, there was really good stuff.
Some very conceptual pieces, I thought.
Yeah, very, very conceptual. I think there's still time to go see it.
An installation.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is definitely an
right.
installation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as Plaza Frontenac is concerned, there was Alex John Meyer was there. We had A gentleman by the name of Sam. I can't think of his last name.
Kaplan, the one that we had here.
Yeah, he showed
Yeah.
with us. He was there. He was the one who was
Kaplan,
actually.
is it Kaplan? Kaplan or Kaplan? I see him all the time. I know he's a really nice guy. Good artist. Really
We better
Butchered the
get-
name, but anyway, he
Get their name straight on
Yeah,
our podcast.
Him and I talked about the podcast for quite a bit, and he was like, "Oh, you guys are a great group of guys."
Did he give us any good ideas?
Well, I mean, I bounced ideas to him about
Yeah.
coming on the show, things like that. But he says like, "You guys have great chemistry. You guys are funny." I'm like, "I hope other people think we're funny." So, but I was like,
That's
he
not a
was,
bad idea to have another artist join us.
And be funny.
yeah. So, but
Oh,
Yeah, I know some funny artists.
We're going to interview some artists.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea,
Probably
Dave.
get Bill Chrisman over here, and we probably wouldn't be able to broadcast.
No,
Well,
that's fine.
you know.
It's rated E for everyone.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it was a really good turnout. There was I think Christina Lampy, I think is her last name.
Yeah.
What's her work like?
It's abstract, very free flowing in
Yeah.
brush strokes, but she had two or three pieces that were there that I was really impressed with. Yeah, there was a handful of stuff that really caught my attention. I
Right.
grabbed a bunch of business cards.
Oh, sweet.
So we could have some point of references for
Right.
the future. I think
You know
it
how long-
was Justin Tarantino.
Oh, I love his work.
Oh, yeah, he's in 31.
Yeah, so he had a piece there that was really just impressive. It looked like it was on, almost looked like it was a piece of rubber. It was a very large piece, but it looked like he screen printed on it, so it almost looked like it was a negative
Nice.
of a photo, and it just had layers to it that I don't know if they were intentional or if it was just one layer, but that's how I assumed, how I perceived the piece to be. And then there was like a layout of a tree. Meant to get an opportunity to talk to him directly because I know he likes a bunch of our stuff on our page.
Right.
But he was tied up the both times that I was over there. But his was probably one of the pieces that really caught my
Yeah, I
attention.
follow Justin on Instagram, and I love seeing
really
his work.
thoroughly
And
liked that one a lot. That was hands down. That was probably my favorite piece there. So it was really cool.
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a thing to lie at. Yeah.
Dave, you just got back from Florida. Did you guys do any art galleries or any art sightings or take a picture or anything?
Art gallery.
Art galleries, quote unquote.
You know,
Get air quotes.
well, I mean, it wasn't horrible. Stuff,
Yeah.
But it was like touristy.
Sure.
Where were you at?
Plain air, about 3 hours south of Destin on the Gulf.
Okay.
Place called Cape San Blas. And it's minimally populated, like 2 restaurants out on a 20-mile
Do they have a new
peninsula.
beach?
Great beach, yes.
Nude?
Yes. No, not nude, no.
Only when Dave was there. it was.
I figured
it
he
was
was
nude
right
that
at
day.
home. I mean, the way he was describing it was like, oh,
It's the only kind of beaches Dave goes to.
like there's no
Yeah.
there.
Well,
It's far.
you had to pay extra for that, that was too cheap, so. But anyway, but the art was like, we hit 2 or 3 little galleries just in the town of Port St. Joe.
Mm-hmm.
And they were, touristy. Some of the stuff was actually kind of nice. now
Yeah,
that
I
think
like
about
that
it.
stuff.
Plein air,
Yeah.
Florida scenery, beach scenes, birds, flamingos,
Birds and mangroves
I
and
love
shells.
flamingos, by the way, Karen. I didn't mean to disparage flamingos. My partner has probably 300 separate flamingo items.
Well,
She actually bought a shirt in a thrift shop.
Really? Down there?
Flamingo
Or
for $1.
does she have them like in a front
That's a
yard?
deal.
Like, well, I'm sorry, in your front yard, are they now? You have like pink flamingos scattered around as.
There's one
Lawn
really
art?
nice one, a really nice one. And she's the original yard flamingo.
Mhm.
It's like a known object with a known designer from the 57 or something. She's got a couple of those in her.
Wow.
trailer in St.
I have a great
Charles.
idea. We just buy a bunch of those and then decorate his front yard.
I think they would probably keep them up for the rest of their tenure at the house.
I think it's great. It'll be the hit of the
Yeah.
neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly.
There was some decent, like local art.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Kerry, have you been to any recent art openings?
I have not.
What's
but
going on over at 31 with you, with those
I'm
guys?
working on new pieces, but I think I'm going to go to Maxine's show Friday night.
Okay.
And that is at Untitled.
Yes.
Is that on Washington?
Untitled, I believe, is on Cherokee Street.
Oh, it's not at 31. Okay.
Yeah.
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 What's the gallery?
Untitled.
And
Okay.
it's a solo show.
Okay.
How long? Do you know how long it's up? Because I have no clue when this podcast comes out, so it's not going to be like a, "Hey, go see Maxine's opening Friday night" kind
Well, it'll be
of
the
post.
13th.
But the 13th, Friday the 13th, which
Well,
makes
you
sense.
put that on your phone?
Yeah, it's this Friday.
Yeah.
Yes.
But how long does it run?
How
So
long
if,
does that show
if this
run?
if this
I don't
podcast
know.
comes out during the run, we can encourage people to go see Maxine's work because
Yeah.
she's brilliant, right? We've had her
Oh,
at,
yeah.
at Gogh-Getters.
I love her stuff.
So technically proficient and fun and daring and colorful and all those things.
The sense of shadows and light,
Yeah.
and light source is amazing.
Such a talent.
Yeah, for sure.
That's cool. Yeah, I was going to talk about Missy's show, Missy Melissa McDonald Borden,
Oh, yeah,
who
yeah.
showed with us. It's at the Schmidt Art Gallery, and it is all installation pieces, and she was making them on the fly for most of them. Some of them were ones that she had painted, pre-painted, and brought in and installed, but a lot of it was installed on site, and it takes up the entire gallery, which is a huge
Big space, yeah.
gallery.
Yeah, it's a beautiful space. Too.
Yeah, this is the first time I've been there, and it was just fantastic.
Yeah, the place.
So it's like I feel bad that I've never gone there before, but I'm going to go back.
Piece on Facebook. It was a painting with some colored objects or pieces or something in it, and then on the wall next to it, it was like that had been like peeled off the painting and installed on the wall.
Yeah, exactly. She has.
That's
It's very cool, and it's
well, the stuff she showed with us that blew my mind. I mean,
right.
She has a really good, and I want to talk about this, about art classes that you guys talked about last time. She has an awesome sense of like gesture
Yeah,
in her hand and arm movement in the brushstroke.
I would say that if you went and see the
And that's
show,
really hard to pull off.
you would get a lot of sense of that movement and play with light and
Right.
shadow, and that using the three-dimensional aspect of that
Yeah.
of the wires that she uses, which
Right.
the energy there is just really top notch. So I think she's got a great show on her hands there.
Speaking of her show, she is at the Untitled Fine Arts Gallery that is on Cherokee, and the show is on Friday the 13th from 6 to 9 p.m. There's no
Great.
end date for it, so I don't know if it's just up for one night or
Okay,
Okay.
there you go.
So that kind of like gesture
Yep.
looks like so easy to do until you try to do it.
Well, when you look at her work and Jared's and just the kind of three quarters
Oh,
of
Jared's
the
stuff,
face, and you and I know from trying to draw that how hard that view is
Mm-hmm.
to get that right.
Right.
And those guys do it so well with highlights and just the, I don't know if I'd say perspective, but from that view,
Right.
it's perfectly done. And it's not easy to do.
Right. Those little ring symbols they did, you know, in the show we had here that were in the middle of each painting.
That was a great show.
Thank you.
That was a
Yeah.
great show. We complimented you last time.
I heard that. Thank you.
Did you cry?
I mean, he's here now, so I'm just like, just add.
But those little, they were little 2-inch squares with little black, it might be an X or like, you know, a couple of things with a line. I did sheets of them, just over and over and over until I got one that was like acceptable. And like the other 28 were not acceptable. So that's what I mean about her ability to, Melissa, I'm talking about, to go up to a canvas and just lay down a, you know, a loop.
Just an interesting line right off the bat without
Oh my
thinking
God.
about
I
it.
mean, that is so hard to do.
Yeah.
So hard to do. It's like, almost like calligraphy.
Yeah, she has like
real
a,
high-end calligraphy.
I think it's 4-panel painting
Yeah.
there.
it's full
That's
panels.
like white strokes on top of gray, and it's just that fluid, linear brushwork that you're talking about it. But it looked like, we were looking at it, and I didn't ask her, it looks like she painted each of those 4 different panels individually, but then somehow got them to line up
Really?
in the painting of it. So when you put all 4 of them together,
Well, that's
it looks
even harder.
seamless.
That's even harder.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's crazy.
Wow, well, I'm gonna have to get down there and see it.
Yeah.
And the Schmidt is in Belleville?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
At the
southern.
Swick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At Swick University. Yeah. Swick College.
Right.
There's one in Granite City too, so.
It's not there.
It's not that one.
Right. It is definitely not there.
Granite City actually is, they are trying really hard to be an art district. You're probably familiar with what's going on there. They're trying so hard.
Yeah.
And they're having some success. Downtown, there ain't much going on downtown.
That's the hard part. We don't have many people wanting to go down there or just
Few
like,
restaurants,
right.
but, you know,
Yeah, I can tell you the last time I was down in Granite for anything festive.
I had to go to the DMV down there because the Edwardsville one's closed. So that's the only reason I go to Granite City. Awesome.
1 year's closed?
What's that?
Is it?
Not closed, but it was unavailable to me at the time. So I'm like, oh, let's go down to Granite City.
yeah.
I think we were trying to get.
Down to 62040, hanging out with the peeps.
You gotta love it.
Right off Namioki.
I love going to the DMV.
That's awesome. Excellent. Well, I think that was some pretty good stuff, guys. Thanks. I wanted to go around and with each of us and have many little interviews, and so people can kind of get to know who the hell we are, who are the Gogh-Getters, and where did we come from, and we can start with Kerry and go around the horn since he was the.
We'll put Dave on the hot seat to begin with.
No, sorry, no, sorry. I'm running the show.
You're more of a founder than I am.
So Kerry Smith, I'm going to say, would you say, Dave, he's the founder of the Gogh-Getters? The impetus,
Well,
I came
there
up
was
with
another
the
party
idea,
no longer
but
around.
I came up with the idea, but
Yeah.
Dave and I would say.
I
are
stayed
the
with it
founders.
right off the bat.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure.
You mentioned this in the last podcast too. There's kind of a group of people, a lot of people just like backed out of it. And
Right.
stayed away. There were 7 or 8, 9, 10
It was
people.
10.
Yeah, was it 10? Yeah.
And we met up, did we meet up above Cleveland Heat?
Yeah, it was think tanks
Yeah.
space. And I got to tell you, I hated the name right off the bat. I hated the Gogh-Getters.
It wasn't the Gogh-Getters. That's not what you hated. You hated Peep Show. And that's why everybody.
I thought I suggested.
this is great.
No.
This is fantastic.
Kevin Zemerick did that.
Okay.
And then that didn't go over.
This
and then-
becomes a quarrel. This
I know. Is this our first
started
argument?
Quitting. And
Just over the name.
just over the name. And
You got to
then
weed them out one way or the other.
it came down to, it was just me and you basically.
I wanted to call it sideshow, like a carnival sideshow
Mhm.
or a freak show. I thought it was.
Oh, freak show.
But freak is a
Well,
lot
I think
more.
the whole purpose was to come up with something different.
Right, and we did.
Because,
But
for
now
some
it's, I
reason-
mean, it's like a known thing.
Well, I think.
It is.
People, oh, you're one of the Gogh-Getters?
Yeah, yeah. They talk about us in Florida.
I think we touched on this last time, but for some reason, the art center, everything was kind of confused with RE, so we
Right.
wanted to not be confused with that.
Right.
And so we wanted to come up with something kind of unusual, and I think we did that. But it was Peep Show was the one you didn't like.
Okay.
So we're the Go-Getters. So thanks for that, Kerry.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Did I
that.
sound mad?
No, not at all. No. It
For
was,
everybody who needs a recap from our last show, there it is. That's how we got our name.
but back to Kerry.
Yeah.
So Kerry, you are an artist today, but
I am an art director, graphic designer. That's been my day job for the last 40 years. I can't believe that part is
Really?
And a curator.
mhm.
Worked on exhibition committees with
Yeah.
Dave and Steve. Steve and I were working, I think, all the way back on the beginning of EAC.
Yeah.
And
I was up
then,
there a lot with you guys.
and then I became, somewhere along the line, I became a painter. And I'm doing a lot more of that.
What?
You were an airbrush painter when I first knew you.
I don't know that I was an airbrush painter. I dabbled in it.
Yeah.
I
But
was in- it
you
was-
were doing some airbrush.
It was illustration. It was illustration.
Yeah.
Well, you guys probably met 40 years ago, probably, right? When you first
Literally
took a
the first
job.
month I moved down here, so that would have been.
Your first job was at Inland Design across the street with
No,
John
no,
Solution.
no,
Oh,
North
that's
South
right.
Street.
It was Purcell, which is.
That's where I
No,
met
it was Mark Twain.
you.
Oh,
You're going to Mark Twain.
I
Okay.
interviewed-
Mark Twain. That's what it was.
Sandy started on Purcell Street.
Yeah, I interviewed on Purcell Street in May of '89, and then when I got the job in February of '90, they had moved into the second floor.
And you started with Sandy Waldron Bolsher for bringing you down here from Jacksonville.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm talking to you guys right now.
That's great.
It's pretty cool.
So that's where you two met, but and you went to school for design
Carbondale.
in Carbondale. And how did you get to Carbondale? Like tell me a little bit about why you decided you wanted to go into art. Were you good at art as a kid? Were you?
I have drawings all the way back to 8, 9 years old. I still have most of them. And I always wanted to do something with that. I think when I realized I wasn't probably going to be a baseball player or any kind of athlete, that really I focused on doing that. And I think somewhere along the line somebody mentioned commercial art and that kind of stuff with me.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I got into graphic design. Though I like graphic design better than commercial art. I
Yeah,
think that makes sense. Do you
Right.
think?
I totally. Yeah, I was slightly introduced to it as commercial art, or when I was in high school too, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what that is, so I didn't even think about it. But
I use that term when I had my business. People say, "What do you do?" I say, "I'm a commercial artist." You know,
Yeah.
that sounds better than.
It sounds better than Gigolo.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, so
I make
that's,
more money.
that's how I wound up going to Carbondale.
yeah,
Worked in a factory for a while first, and then I did.
before you went to Carbondale, you worked in a factory.
Yeah,
You work for a sign company.
first before I,
Yeah.
just right out of going to community college, and the only reason I went to community college was to run cross country.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And did very poorly, then went to work in the factory that all my family members had
What
worked
was
in.
the factory?
Mobile chemical plastic bag factory.
Really? Wow. But you work for a sign company, you know. You told me
Briefly
they had you up
before
in
that,
bucket
yeah.
trucks and.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was 70 feet up on a
Yeah, yeah.
cable cage hanging from the
Yep.
a long way up.
I've known
hanging
people
sign
who died
graphics.
doing that, literally. Yeah.
So that's the 80s-ish when you
Early.
get to Carbondale?
I went back to school at Carbondale in '84,
84.
graduated in '87.
That's pre-Macintosh.
Yes.
Two-year program, but it's
And
okay.
just to note that I was
You
10.
know what, here's the
Shut up, Juan.
I was 10 years old.
thing.
We'll get to you.
Steve, you're a little bit younger than me, but I think you'll relate to this, is I love having that old school training, the pace board,
Yeah, yeah.
and the ruling pens and
Yeah.
videographs, but using modern technology now to carry out that same.
Cindas.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I think, to me, that's really fun.
And I gotta say, I think a lot of, well, this happened in the sign industry, and I think it's happened in graphic design too. It's almost like how desktop publishing ruined a lot of like print design, publishing design. My friend Mike Eaker was a creative director at an agency in St. Louis, and he said he'd hire these designers, and they didn't have any pencils or pictographs or a drawing table. They came in with a laptop, and they wanted to do everything in Photoshop when Photoshop was not what it is now.
Right.
And he's like, man, nobody can draw. He said, I can't find anybody that can draw. And I mean, there are like basic essential elements to what you do. Well, what you do, what I was doing. Composition and color theory, and I still use that education.
I still use the.
I didn't mean to cut in on your precious time.
You're cutting into my time.
Sorry.
He's trying to talk about himself and let people know who Kerry is.
All right.
I love those. I still use the mechanical pencils with the lead.
Yeah.
To sketch, so when I'm painting, I'll I'll do a quick little sketch, even if it's on a legal pen or whatever. And I need that reference of, like, if it says Led Zeppelin 4 and the tracks, I need that then to turn it upside down so I can paint it upside down. I need that reference of, because it is really difficult to, you'd be surprised how difficult it is to do a Z upside down.
Yeah.
This way.
Right.
5's another
Or
one.
an N.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Though an N looks pretty cool if you mess it up.
Right, if you do it, yeah.
But, so I bet for.
And you wouldn't be able to, like, pencil draw it upside down either. It's just really too hard to do.
Yeah, I do the pencil drawing,
You
right?
could.
But I sit out on this deck a lot in the summer, and you know, I'll have a beer, sit out there with my kitties, and music playing, phone's not ringing, email's not going off. And
Sounds kind of romantic.
I know.
Keep talking. Let me
I
close
never
my
get a
eyes.
text about
It's
this.
getting sexual now. But it's, I'll sit out there with a pad of paper and just write down ideas, and you know, it's brainstorming. Some of them would never see the light of day, but
Yeah.
it's still pretty cool. And I love that process of just writing down ideas.
Yeah.
The first rule of brainstorming is there are no bad ideas.
Is what?
There are no bad ideas.
Well, right, yeah.
Don't be afraid to write down your ideas or tell somebody your idea.
Do you find when you do that, when you've got, like, you get 4 or 5 or 6 things down, like the first one ends up being the one that,
I think
It's like
so,
the best one.
but I like how one leads to another, and then once you get started and you're kind of free from all the stuff of the day, it's
Yeah.
and next thing you know, you have 2 or 3 ideas.
yeah.
That's great. Hey, your artwork today is all surrounding music,
Yes.
record albums, liner notes,
Rock music.
gig sheets, whatever you want to call those, set sheets, and you're wearing a kick-ass shirt right now. So I want to know.
Tickets.
I want to know why this focus on music, and it's not necessarily rock and roll, because some of your work is
Well, yeah.
you focus on
I
other
think
things,
that's
but
the fun part of it.
but why are you doing why have you settled on this whole music genre for your work?
I think, you know, my grandparents, they play Nat King Cole, so I was introduced to that, Roger Miller early, but my mom was listening to, my first exposure to pop music was Simon and Garfunkel
Yeah.
and the Carpenters, stuff like that.
Was
which I
that
loved.
Denver, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I just would sit in front of the stereo and read liner notes start to finish,
Yeah.
and I remember reading the one in mid-teens that Jackson Browne said was recorded in room 124
Yeah,
at
I was just thinking about that.
Edwardsville, Illinois. I'm like, where the heck's that?
Right.
But so to me,
Holiday Inn used to
when
be on the hill.
when I started painting in general, I liked what I was painting, but it seemed to have, like, the dogs, the cats, which you have.
Yeah.
You have.
I think I have one of your
Steve
I have a water
house
tower.
dog paintings. I think I got one of the first.
And you do. And but it didn't seem to have any reason or rhyme behind. So I remember one day I was painting, and I'd done a pretty cool cat, and I finished it. And I go, what next? Another cat, a water tower, and then it kind of came about with that. I don't put much merit on the Grammys, but Beck had was nominated for Best Album in 15. And I found that odd that an alternative album like that would even be mentioned, let alone, and any long story short, he won. And later that week.
Was that Sea of Changes?
What's that?
What
no, that was Morning Face.
Okay.
But it was a lot like Sea Change. I had some Bristol board laid out, some 4 or 5 sheets, and one wasn't even dry, and I went over and I took a oil pastel and took a circle and wrote back in it. Wow. And I sent that to you, buddy. And
I said it sucked.
The paint was still wet.
Yeah.
You did say it sucked.
Let's to try something else. This is not going anywhere.
Anyway, so I think.
You're never gonna make it with
No, this is good. This is
I think, long story short, I'm kind of rambling. Most artists, they kind of look for that subject matter, and I think when I did that, kind of stumbled upon it. It's like, oh, I can.
You know what, I think that's really important. If you're gonna make art, and I've struggled with this, it's like, I don't wanna just make more pretty things. I don't wanna make more decorative things.
Mhm.
I want, if I'm gonna make art, I want it to have some like core essential meaning that means something to me, and I hope I can, communicate that to other people. And I want to say, this guy has history of rock and roll knowledge.
all right.
Yes,
I'm trying to get to like why? Where is this?
Well,
Where's this deep love? Is it those sitting around with those?
You and me, Jamie Henderson.
Yeah.
Some band will come up. He knows.
He knows, right?
Oh my
He
God,
totally
it's
knows.
phenomenal. And how do you remember it? How you know it all? You read the liner notes, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I think just having having that knowledge or experience as a kid, and then being able to paint it.
Yeah.
I think that's why. And it's in the subject matter.
Yeah.
And I love painting the stuff I know, like Zeppelin.
Mhm.
I love
Yeah.
finding the stuff I didn't know, like at vintage vinyl, looking through jazz records and finding things like that.
And you've been doing that genre, I hate that word, for how long? 10 years?
I started it in February 12th of 15.
That's great.
Rain Man.
That's 10 years ago. 10 years
11.
in a month.
11.
11.
Oh, yeah, 11 now, you're right, yeah.
Yeah, math.
I can't do math.
So you now, after 11 years, you have these awesome paintings
Well, thank you.
around the world.
And how many have you done, do you think? How many thousand?
I started logging them in 17. So I don't know.
It's gotta be 1,000 or more.
Yeah, I would say, but
Yeah.
it's a little different process, and I don't spend. It's gonna sound like I don't spend much time on them. I do,
Yeah.
but the buildup of the paint background is the lengthy part.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
The lettering shouldn't take any time at all.
yeah.
So, but if that doesn't work, I can cover up another one, and I can cover that up.
Yeah, then you've got the
and then you get some
other
nice, you can
painting.
get some nice stuff coming
Yeah.
up from it.
I got 3 of
Yeah.
these in my house.
Bragger.
You have,
And I got one of your early cat paintings.
yeah,
It was hanging in a passageway in our
Sebastian.
house. We had to take it down because it was making my grandson cry. It scared him.
Yeah.
It's just freakish.
Like it.
So I can get it out now because he's 10.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Put it
He's not
out.
prone to being scared of cats.
So, I've
You've had a
been-
show in LA.
I've
right?
got shipping a piece out to Los Angeles
Yeah.
tomorrow, and I'm in this weekend. I'm in the Dropkick Murphy show right next to Fenway Park in Boston.
That's amazing.
Really?
So 4 days. It's in they're in the MGM's
Right.
Yeah.
music hall.
That's crazy.
And then House of Blues, which House of Blues literally walk out that door. And it's
That's
Fenway
amazing.
Park, Boston.
And you've had shows up in Chicago, down in New Orleans, and over in Europe, right? You have
New York.
New York.
New York.
I work in New York.
In France, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you had
France
some
and
in
London,
London,
I've been
right?
in the London gallery for a while.
That's nice. Anything in Florida?
No?
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
We could go down, scout up some places. and see
I've
if
got
we
some
can-
cool places.
I
It's,
will rep you in Florida.
yeah. Just to say, I know I'm harping on Florida, but St. Petersburg has got the coolest
Oh,
art
it's
scene
awesome, yeah.
going on.
My mom and her boyfriend had a place in Destin. I spent a lot of time
Yeah,
there. I
yeah,
love
you
it.
did.
It's one
Yeah.
of the most beautiful coastlines you'll ever see.
It is.
Yeah, I love Florida.
That,
Don't, but I do.
that
St. Pete.
St.
Pete's gorgeous.
You did a collection of pieces that ended up in a restored mid-century modern hotel in Hollywood, right?
Yeah, I think that is a new hotel, but it's in the lobby. It had
Oh, in
Yeah, I
that.
have permanent
section design.
installations there,
Okay.
and in the lobby of the Hollywood, I think it's Hollywood Grand Hotel, they changed
Okay.
the name.
Well, it's a gorgeous installation.
Thank you.
It's so perfect for the space.
And,
the space is just awesome. What are there, 24 pieces?
24 pieces.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And then I have in 25 Water Street in Manhattan, that's a really cool living facility in the old financial, I think it's an old financial building.
Yeah.
And also in Atlanta. Those are all permanent.
Nice. Yeah, it's really taken off. I think.
Really admirable, Kerry.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
It's just brilliant work. So
Thank you.
when you look at your work and you like look at, you're inspired by like the music scene. What artists are you thinking about in the past? Anybody influencing you? I know you're a big Warhol fan.
Basquiat, Warhol,
Yeah, yeah.
I love Van Gogh. I love Stephen Pace. I met him. He's an abstract guy from the 50s, and I met him from New Harmony. And I met him in New Harmony on his 90th birthday. He passed away in 2010. And but really, honestly, it's you guys. I'll bring it a step closer home. It's you guys. It's Dan Anderson. It's the people around Susan Bosworth, people like Aaron Wood, people like that around here. And I'm sure I'm missing a lot. And then even a step closer to home, my mom painted a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
My aunt painted. My grandmother made dolls, and my brother's a really good creative writer. So I think
That all kind of influences you.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Energy in your family.
Yeah, I think I think I heard a pretty cool interview with Jeff Tweedy once, and he said, they asked him what his favorite record was. And he said, I don't really have a favorite record because I can tell you this, I have a constant need to make something, and that's the way I feel.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's great, these things are out and about, I love that, but I'd make them even if anybody didn't want them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's therapy. It's just, and again, it's kind of back to that a comment that I've used several times. That at an early age, my grandma and mom would pen things on the refrigerator that tape things, and I think that's the same acceptance as an artist who's still chasing. It's just a little bit bigger audience. So you're still chasing that acceptance that you want your artwork on the refrigerator.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
So.
I like that thought.
Juan, you got any questions over there?
There's kind of a...
No. No, but I guess my question is, like, I keep seeing cars pull up. I'm like, have we thought about if, like, because the lights are on?
Well, I think we're
How
going
do
to
we-
have crowd control issues. But
Yeah, I'm like, how are like people gonna walk up and be like, are you open? Can we make an
Where's-
appointment?
Today's
They walk up
show,
to the door, we flip them
people
off and
may,
keep talking.
It's like, how you doing?
want to be in the background with the signs.
Kerry, is there any places you want to see your art hanging?
Can I ask you two things?
yeah.
No, you can't.
Shut up. I think one thing you were
I thought you were
describing
conducting
is
this interview.
No, this is Dave.
when your drive to keep making things. I think there's a, how can I phrase this? It's almost like a Zen experience when you get in, you start a piece and you get into your work and you kind of get into a zone and everything else goes away. Does that happen for you when you're painting? And I think it's almost, what do you get like when you have like a runner's high? Is it like pheromones or?
Your endorphins?
Endorphins, I think your body produces endorphins when you're in that zone.
Yeah.
And I think it's not really addictive, but it becomes something you want to have again because you just feel so good when things are it's flow.
Yeah.
So you experience that?
I think.
I could add something.
I don't know that. I mean, I think
Next.
I can just leave now.
No. I'm just gonna make a side comment.
Well, no, that's,
I
this
just
is
love
so
making
true.
it. I don't
Yeah.
really think about it in that way, and I can understand how people do. I don't think I do.
Okay.
I mean, I just.
You're not getting erection from it?
You know what I love doing is I don't do it all the time because I like having music going and sometimes it's
Yeah.
not relevant to what I'm painting.
Yeah.
But I love it sometimes when I really want the focus and I'm working on several pieces, I'll put on that album and just loop it.
Really?
What is the album that you want to listen to both sides without interruption?
Are you asking my favorite record?
Yeah, I guess if you listen to it both sides without interruption.
I'm not saying it's the best record ever made, but it's my favorite, just given when I bought it, is Captain Fantastic in the Brown Dirt Cowboy by Elton John, 1975.
Nice.
Wow.
And that is an autobiographical kind of, he and Bernie Taupin there from having no money, writing songs in his mother's bungalow, second floor, to the rise of fame. And it's kind of...
That's the kind of knowledge he has that I was talking about.
So, it's just, I miss concept albums. I don't think you have that a lot.
Right.
But, yeah.
Sweet.
And what else, what do you want to do going forward? Are you going to continue doing what you're doing, or are you thinking
Yeah, I love showing with galleries. I love all my friends at 31.
What about the style?
I think I'm going to keep going. I think
Yeah.
what the pandemic did for me was I had it again from my notepads. I just been working on the two sizes, the 20 by 20 and the 12 by 12.
Yeah.
And then I had this idea to expand off this, and when we had all this dead time, I started working on the ticket stubs, and then that led to the set list and the journal pages and the backstage passes and the 3D, but it's still all within the same thing.
Well, the really large scale 3D stuff is a big expansion of your original thought.
Yeah, I kicked that around.
I think those are just mine.
Well, thank you. I kicked that around with you on materials.
Yeah.
And when you were on hiatus.
Yeah.
And you were kind enough to give me some feedback, and then you directed me to Seth.
Yeah.
And so I went over materials with Seth, and we came up with PVC.
Yeah.
And that would be the most durable. To take the compound.
CNC routed shapes and.
Yes.
Yeah.
He even gave me the sign company I used.
Yeah.
Are you gonna plan to do any more of those?
Yeah,
Like the
actually,
record and
that's
the
what I was
sleeves?
doing for 31.
Nice.
So what I want to do then, and those are going to be just to kind of convey how simple graphic design can be on painting. They're going to be like, there's 6 of them probably, but I'm going to narrow it to 4. But it's like Talking Heads 77. This is a red cover. It says Talking Heads 77.
Okay.
The Beatles White Album. But I'll put them, and I'll make the record kind of coming so it would be displayed where it's partway out of the
cool.
album
That's
cover
I
versus
like
a sleeve. So there would be no hole.
Okay.
It would be just like it's an album.
Cool.
Wow.
I'm giving away my idea.
When are we going to see that?
What's that?
When is that going to go up?
That should go up in May.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
Well, you better get started.
I gotta go.
You have got a deadline.
All right, on to the next.
Fantastic.
So,
Thank you, Kerry.
I saw on your list, Warhol would be my museum that I choose.
Yeah.
Say that again?
Your favorite museum.
Favorite museum that I'd like to see is Warhol. I'd love to
Oh.
see.
Now, wait a minute. Check. Am I wrong? Maybe you can look this up while we're talking. The museum itself is gone, right? It's no longer, right? I thought they went virtual or something.
Maybe they did.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I
I
was.
still want to see it.
I know it was. I've been there once. It was phenomenal.
But the other one, too, is, if I could expand on that, is I've been to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'd love to go again.
Yeah.
I've been to the Country Music Hall of Fame. Would love to see the Jazz Museum. Is that in Kansas City? Is there one here? There was a Blues Museum.
The Blues Museum's in St. Louis.
And the Jazz is
I
in
think the
Kansas.
Jazz is in KC.
Correct.
But it's just that fascinating to me. World War II Museum in New Orleans, I hear it's just amazing.
It's outstanding. Yeah.
I have been in that parking lot, but never gone into the museum.
The museum-
They say it takes a day,
Maybe 2.
maybe 2. Yeah.
It's huge.
Related to Warhol, we were in Prague in the Czech Republic about 10 years ago. And my late wife, Deanie, had read an article in Globe magazine that there was going to be a Marilyn Monroe exhibit in the castle in Prague, okay? And it was only going to be in 2 places, in Ferragamo, that's like an Italian design house, like funded this thing. There's a point to this. So we took a train up there to the castle and went in, and there was almost nobody there because nobody knew about it. and it was 25 rooms filled with memorabilia. But one room, this Ferragamo, I think it is, had managed to get out of private collections around the world every single Andy Warhol, Marilyn Monroe. And they lined the walls of this one huge gallery space.
Wow.
And it was freaking mind-blowing.
I think Warhol to me,
they were out of private collections.
Warhol just was such a game changer because he made you realize that literally anything can be art.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I believe that.
Yeah.
Speaking of Warhol, so the museum that's in Pittsburgh, it was announced in, I guess, 2022. There's a $60 million expansion, so it doesn't sound
Like it got smaller,
yeah,
did it?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's
Maybe it was closed for the expansion.
Yeah, it could be. So that was 2022.
Steve had a dream about this.
I don't know.
Can't tell
I
me
see a
how.
lot
Well,
of
we
shit.
better move on to someone else.
Yeah, the Pop District is what they're referring to.
Is Pittsburgh
That's
his
sweet.
hometown?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
He would be 98.
Oh,
He
God.
was born in 28.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it's so weird. I mean, and you start to realize how much time has gone by. I think he did the Billy Squier album cover in in 86, roughly, and then he died in 87. And you still view him as a young man because he was old, or a relatively young man because he was 57 when he died. But it's almost 40 years
Right,
ago.
exactly.
It is 40 years
Right.
ago.
And he was a commercial artist and illustrator.
Harper's Bazaar.
Yeah.
Illustrator.
He drew shoes, didn't he? For,
Yeah. One quick little thing on that one, I read in his biography. So once he became a famous artist, he and an associate decided that they didn't want all the illustrations they had in the factory. So they were going to take them out and dump them in the trash in front of their place or in back of their place, and they thought better of it because of who they were.
Yeah.
So they took him down the street and did that. Can you imagine if you would have walked upon that?
oh, like dumpster full of Andy. or
Yes.
something.
That's crazy.
Original illustration.
That would be jackpot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I just want to say, I really immensely admire your skills
thank you.
and your dedication to the work.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the interesting part about
You're gonna break down and cry like
You guys gonna hug?
you guys need to get up and hug it out.
Yeah, what's up?
get Dave a tissue.
It's funny, you guys had an
I'll
argument at the
close
beginning,
on
and now
this
you're...
note. As a young guy, all I wanted to be was an artist, and now it's all I know how to do.
Right.
So it's an interesting,
It's nice.
it's an interesting perspective sometimes.
Well, I would have jumped in on the Gogh-Getters if I hadn't already had that admiration that you're a really cool guy and you can pull stuff like this off.
Well, thank you.
So anyway.